Welcome to the Way to Go podcast. I'm Bill McMinn along with Mark Hosteller. It's Thanksgiving Day. So we figure usually we do these shows on Friday, but why not just put it out on Thanksgiving Day?
Why not?
Thursday
Yeah.
morning.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Right.
Nice to see you.
You don't have anything else to do other than listen to this. So I think, while you're stuffing the turkey, if that's what you're doing right now, or making a pie, you can kind of listen as you go along and hear about Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So I love it. A lot of traditions, we've had over the years. What are some of yours?
Honestly, just spending time with family, getting together. My mom and dad usually host it. Well, they used to. The family's kind of outgrown their house, and we wanted to kind of take the stress off of mom because she gets super stressed. It's her kitchen, her way, all of that. But
is that tradition?
Yes. So my brother and his wife actually host Thanksgiving a lot at their house, and we love to just get together, play cards, enjoy each other. That's really what it bottles down to. This holiday come together and just be a family together.
Yeah.
This year, unfortunately, two of my brothers and my brother's wife has COVID.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And so we won't actually be able to spend an entire family together in Thanksgiving, but that's okay. We'll get through it.
I think for me growing up, we played football every Thanksgiving Day. And sometimes even when it was just my dad and my uncle and four brothers, there were four of us all together, six of us, and we'd play, split up 3 and 3, and we'd play.
There you go.
And then we played with the church a lot. And when I came here to Eagleville Bible Church, it wasn't too long of being here. I started what we call the Turkey Bowl, and we'd play football every Thanksgiving morning. I must have done that, Mark, for over 20 years. I'm too old to do it now.
Yeah.
From the perspective, Bill, you're not too old. My hamstrings, yes, and my Achilles tendons, yes, they are, because the quick sprints, I have enough injuries at this point. It pulls it too much, so I don't do that. Then I fish for a while. Then now I do the Miracle Mile. So that's like there's always some activity I was doing every Thanksgiving morning. So I guess our tradition was there was always some activity. So I'll do the Miracle Mile for charity here on Thanksgiving morning, and I'll look forward to doing that. And that'll be 9 o'clock. It's a 1 mile downhill run. A bunch of people from the church typically come out, so we get a group picture. Yeah. And then at the end of the race, there are certain people I'll get my picture with, like our tradition, kind of, for the last couple of times we've been together.
It's interesting that you do that, because I'm the other way. I don't want to go out and do things. I want to be a homebody that day. I want the comfort and the security of just being with family. Hey, to each his own, right?
Well, yeah, my family will go. And that's the nice thing. Like, my daughter's the one who signed me up for it. So my daughter will be there, my son-in-law, my son's going, my wife might go. There's people in the church talking to me about it. I just go for the fellowship of it, and I have so much fun. I love it so much.
I think the other tradition that I forgot to mention was I always try to sight in my guns on Thanksgiving Day, because the Monday after Thanksgiving is the opening day for gun season.
Right.
So I try to use Thanksgiving morning to just make sure my guns are sighted in and have my boys out there and we shoot.
My goodness. You're not shooting at them, I hope.
No. Nope.
Wear your steel-plated vest.
Yeah.
I've got to sight the gun.
No, we don't do that.
Well, when I get back from that, then I just hang out, and I'll get cleaned up and just hang out with my family, build a fire in the fireplace, watch football, eat food. I mean, that's pretty much what it's been for years. But we used to have a lot of people over for Thanksgiving too, because once I didn't go back home anymore. It's just family there. The friends would come over. Now it's pretty much just me and my family.
That's got to be tough for you too, right? Not being able to go back east and be with your brothers and no?
I'm used to it. It's been years because I think all my brothers are the same way. Once you have your kids growing up, well, they want to see their kids growing up, and I want to see my kids growing up. So trying to get everyone together is so hard because we live so many miles apart. But I think my brother, I don't even think he's going to be around. I think he's heading to the beach. So, but tradition for us has always been eat food, watch some football, hang out, build a fireplace, play some games, and just have fun. It's just a really fun day. And then before we eat, we typically have everyone go around and say what they're thankful for.
Yep, so, that's what we do too. Yep.
And I've seen varying degrees of success with that with my children over the years. Sometimes I'm like, what is wrong with you? And then other years, I think they do a good job.
Right.
Come on. You can't find God's done a lot for each one of us.
Yeah.
And there seriously is a lot for us to be thankful for. And I fear in this nation that we're coming to the point, not the Christians or the church, hopefully, but others, it's just, whether it's thanking your lucky stars or just being grateful to somebody you don't really know who.
Yeah.
And it's whatever spirit or whatever is guiding you, where we look at it, every good and every perfect gift is from the Father above.
That's right.
Who doesn't shift. The shadows don't shift. It's kind of like an eclipse term. And he's always the same. He doesn't change. And so I like that. Every good and every perfect gift comes down from the Father of heavenly lights.
Absolutely. I'll say one more tradition. I keep forgetting these traditions. We're just starting, we're probably like 3 years into it now, this thing called Friendsgiving. The weekend before or the weekend after. We have some of our best friends, and we actually have this was last weekend. We actually spent the night. Well, my wife and I did not, but they spend the night at my sister and her husband's house.
Yeah.
And we just have a whole weekend of just having fun together and enjoying each other and just saying how thankful we are for our relationships.
So you have 2 Thanksgivings.
Oh, yeah.
You had that one, and then you're going to have the official one. So you have, Mark has the official Thanksgiving Day, and then the Friendsgiving Day.
The Friendsgiving Day.
Which is his family, or his friends.
Yeah, friends. Yep. Which happen to be mostly family. So, whatever.
I've heard a lot today from you, Mark. I really have.
All right,
I've heard,
good.
They play poker. They shoot
Rook.
guns. Oh, Rook.
Rook.
Okay.
Yeah, we love Rook.
I'm just teasing about the poker. I just heard you say play cards. No, I like Rook. Rook's a great game. I used to play. I played for many years. But one of the things that I think is important to express appreciation, I know for myself, I like it if somebody appreciates what you did when you went out of your way for them. And I remember, I was talking to a friend earlier this year, and I said, well, I don't mind doing this if you appreciate it, but if people don't appreciate it, why are you doing it? I mean, that's always do the right thing. I'm saying appreciate it or not, but it goes a long way to just say, hey, thanks. I try to remember that with my wife and family. Anything they do, just to make sure you go overboard. Thank you for dinner. Thank you for helping me with this. Thank you for whatever it is. I appreciate all of it. And,
absolutely.
I try to, the older I get, try to get even more appreciative for everything around it. You don't assume anything. You don't presume anything. You realize, there's a lot of blessings in your life. And, when you think of the things that you give thanks for, a lot of times it's for the things you didn't work for, because typically you're not giving thanks for something you did.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to give you thanks for something I did, and you're not going to give me thanks for something you did. Really, when you give thanks, it's for stuff you didn't do. It's for blessings. It's for what somebody did for you.
That's right.
And so that to me is a real important thing, just to keep communicating. Like, we have all these Thanksgiving Eve service. You have all these volunteers here, and they're one of the traditions for the church is hosting a community dinner every Thanksgiving Eve, and these multitude. I mean, I've seen a dozen plus people in there, and the kitchen's full, man. I mean, there's all kinds of people working and hustling and getting ready. And I've been over there a couple times. Thank you. And I'll say something when I speak tonight about it. It's just, you got to appreciate people, man.
You really do.
Right.
I think if you have a spouse, start there. Make sure you can't overdo gratitude for your spouse. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so.
I think just saying it over and over, affirming your love and your appreciation for your spouse, your children. I mean, my boys, they do so much around my house. I have a lot of yard and a lot of maintenance, and Robert and Cody, man, they get after it and they take care of it, and I come home from work after working all day and come home, and usually it's with my headlights this time of the year. I see my yard and the leaves are up. Well, that doesn't just happen on its own.
No.
My boys are working, and while I'm at work, and I appreciate that, man.
No,
I don't say it enough. It's one of them things that you got to make a discipline in your life, just to make that a part of your rhetoric,
I think it's important. I think it's important to say, I believe it motivates people. It will much more encourage them to want to do stuff for you. Like, I don't mind working hard for appreciative people. I'll go through walls for you, if you appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
People who just, take it for granted or assume it, that's not so good. So I really do think, especially with God, it really comes down to giving him thanks on this day. And you think about the pilgrims and that was, by the way, 500 years ago now.
Wow.
that what they would consider being the first Thanksgiving, and what exactly it was like. We all saw in school the pictures of the Pilgrims sitting with the Indians, and they were having this feast. And that was a day. And so people say, well, there's the start of Thanksgiving. But really the person who made it official that it was going to be the last Thursday of every November was Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War. And so he said that it seemed proper, he says, and fitting that they should be solemnly, reverently, and gratefully acknowledged, meaning the blessings that we have with one heart and one voice by the whole American people. I do thereby invite my fellow citizens in every part of the United States, and also those who are at sea and those who are sojourning in foreign lands, to set apart and observe the last Thursday of November next as a day of thanksgiving and prayer to our beneficent Father who dwelleth in the heavens, as I recommend to them that while offering up the ascriptions justly due him for such singular deliverances and blessings, they also with humble penitence for our national perseverance and disobedience commend to his tender care all those who have become widows, orphans, mourners, or sufferers in the lamentable civil strife in which we are unavoidably engage, and fervently implore the interposition of the Almighty hand to heal the wounds of the nation and restore it as soon as may be consistent with divine purposes to the full enjoyment of peace, harmony, tranquility, and union.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
You look at him and Abraham Lincoln understanding God's hand, and one of the recognitions that I would like to promote is this: to see God's hand in daily life and to see God's blessing. And sometimes I'm sure I'm guilty of it, not being thankful enough to God, not being appreciative enough for all that he's done, not sometimes realizing, sometimes you think things just happened and things just worked out a certain way. Maybe that's true. I mean, maybe it is true that you just saw the sunset you did, or just happened to see the sunrise. I still think ascribe glory to God. I still think that we should be thankful to God, because every good and every perfect gift comes down from heaven above. I mean, that's what the Bible says. What is a good gift to you? I mean, what is a good gift? What is a blessing? I mean, what are the blessings you would count as coming from God?
Well, I'm going to say first and foremost his salvation, right? I mean, we're going to acknowledge him for his salvation. I'm grateful to you, God, that I'm forgiven. My spouse, my job. I have a job. You know what I mean? I have a place of employment. I'm able to live in a home securely. In a free nation. I mean, those are all things that I'm grateful for. Yeah. My children, their health. We see a lot where we see people hurting and their health failing. I don't have that going on right now.
Right.
And I'm praising God for that, man. I mean, I just can't imagine some of the struggles people have gone through, and I'm
I'll
thankful.
Be thankful even if I don't have great health that day. My eye hurts right now because I walked into a stick yesterday when I was hiking, because I'm off. Actually, how Thanksgiving week works is I'm always off that week because my kids used to come home from college, so I'd always want to be off, but never on Wednesday. Like, there's never been... I mean, I don't know in my whole career here, especially, not being here with the community dinner, that I've ever been off on a Wednesday. Wow. I mean, you're going to be here because we've been doing these Thanksgiving Eve services for years and years and years. Not going to be off that day. It's just, you're going to be at work, even if you're on vacation, you're going to come in because you got this big community dinner and we've got the service later on and we're doing podcasts today. There's always so much to go on. So my eye hurts, right? So thankful. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful. My wife, she was complaining because she got a pricker.
Ooh,
she got
he
a
just
thorn.
threw her under the bus.
I do. She was complaining because, listen, Mark, she was complaining because she had a pricker, a thorn in her shoe, and she needed to stop. I said, well, you know what? I've got one in my eyeball. How about me, okay? I've got a pricker, I've got a thorn in my eyeball. You're complaining about your foot. What about my eye? Wow. And I tease her about it. I mean, I totally mock her any chance that I get.
Right.
But, I think salvation's a huge one. I think that, everything God does for us. But there's that one verse in Hebrews 5, and it's in verse 12, actually. And it's a good one because it's talking there about the throne. And it says there that...
You're saying Revelation 5, not Hebrews.
What'd I say?
You said Hebrews.
No. I said the wrong thing. I'm thankful to be tired. But in Revelation 5:12, it says in a loud voice, they were saying, worthy is the Lamb who was slain to receive power and wealth and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and prayer and praise, because he deserves that. He deserves honor. He deserves glory. He deserves praise. And it says they were thanking him, right? So, and I appreciate that, that whole concept in a loud voice, worthy as the Lamb. Why are we praising him? Because he was slain for us. So I love that part. And then in verse 9 of Revelation 4, whenever the living creatures give glory and honor and thanks to him who sits on the throne forever and ever. So they're thanking God. They're giving glory to Jesus because he was slain, man. So salvation came at a cost. I'm appreciative for it. I would say that I'm appreciative for my wife and my family and friends and church, my church family, health. Just went to the doctor last week because I didn't have a family doctor because mine retired, so I had to find a new one. He's looking over all my information. He's like, man, you're healthy, dude.
That's awesome.
Like, you have good health. It's good to hear, at my age that I have good health. My dad, number one, my dad at my age, he wasn't here.
Wow.
He was already gone, and he didn't have health the last 4 years of his life. So I really, when you see your dad struggle with cancer, I saw my granddad go through it when I was a boy. And especially, I'm saying, like, at the ages I've already passed, they both died at age 59. So I look at that and say, you know what? I'm thankful because you learn to appreciate things when you see your family struggle. Younger than you, and they've already been through years of cancer by that point, already had years of ill health, they've had surgeries, they've had chemotherapy, they've had all these things that they've gone through, and you realize, my foot hurts, maybe my knees hurt sometimes, and my eyeball, did I mention it?
Yeah,
I don't know. Did I mention it? Okay.
Absolutely.
So anyway.
It's certainly no thorn in the foot.
Yeah, no, that's right. Hey, my grace is sufficient for my thorn in the foot. Right. But anyway, but you do appreciate it. And I am very thankful to God. And I do consider it a blessing. And for all the things that I have, I look to God. I think it would be rude to just assume that was just going to happen, to assume that God didn't have a part of that, right?
Oh, my goodness.
And my wife, and having a family, and having health, and having the house that I have, and salvation, seeing it, what goes on here at church, all the great things that happen here at church that we get to be a part of.
It's amazing.
Right. Yeah. I don't look at that stuff and say, oh, yeah, I'm just lucky. Like, guy told me one time I was just the right place at the right time, and that's why Eagleville grew, and it kind of made me laugh. But it's like, we're all here together because God put us here. It's not just happenstance. God put everyone here, and all the people who are here, including you, our other friends and family, the vast group of army of volunteers this church has. He put us together, and I recognize God's hand, and he deserves praise on this day.
I agree wholeheartedly. Psalm 106:1 says, "Praise the Lord. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Who can proclaim the mighty acts of the Lord, or who can fully declare his praises?"
Right.
That's how I feel on a day like today. When you say, what are you thankful for? It's like, it's almost overwhelming. It's like, well, who can list everything that you're thankful for? All that he has done, all that you've done, all that my spouse has done. The people around me, this church family is incredible. My gratitude for this church family is just amazing. It's like, watching them, Pastor Eric just went through a struggle, watching them come around him and provide for him, with, hey, use my car, use this car, to do this or that.
Right.
It's incredible to watch, to see God's love pouring out in his children for one another. It's just, I'm grateful for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I'm thankful every day, all the time. But I still think I could be more thankful. And I hear I'm so inspired by the comments of others at times, and I think they don't even know it. And you see a beautiful sunrise, which this morning, this is the day before Thanksgiving, I saw the sunrise that I'm talking about. Sky was red, which means probably going to be raining when you hear the show.
Right.
But, dude, it was so red. And then red sky morning, sailors take warning, is famous line. It was amazing. It was so beautiful. And then last night I got up and I saw a really killer sunset up at the beach, and I had time with my daughter. But sometimes you wonder, like I heard somebody say today, sometimes when they're doing stuff they just have to stop, and they said exact quote, give it up to God, meaning just the thanks and praise. I just have to stop and thank. And I'm like, well, I stop and take a picture of it. You know what I'm saying? I stop and take a picture of the beauty. I observe the beauty. I see the beauty. I'm always watching for beauty. So I see it all the time. And I'm 100% appreciative of beauty. How many times did I say, God, hey, you right here, right now, thanks for this reflection. Thanks for this flower. Thanks
I don't know the answer to that, but I bet you it's not enough.
Yeah, right. You know? That's what I'm thinking. So today, anyway, our encouragement is be thankful. Be thankful to God for all that he's done and for the people in your life and for the food that you eat and every blessing that you have is a great thing to be thankful for.
I think I would like to just say one more quick thing. The same thing that Abraham Lincoln just said in his speech. Use this not only as an opportunity to offer thanks, but offer your petitions for the nation that you're a part of, that God would heal the wounds of a nation and restore it.
Right.
I think it's so awesome that, in 1863, this is what President Lincoln is saying, pray for your nation, pray for wounds to be restored.
Right.
My goodness, do we need that right now?
I don't think there's enough praying going on for this country. And you think of the wounds we have in COVID, and a lot of people, your family's sick with COVID. Yeah. We know a lot of others. People in our church have been hospitalized, and some I haven't heard how they're doing. I assume better because I haven't heard anything. But
if you're grateful for something, you're going to protect it. I'm grateful for this nation. Right. I want to protect it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And let's pray about it.
That's right.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving to each one of you. You guys have a great and awesome day.